And the thing about Gen Z is we don't care.
That's
That's the thing. Like,
You're right.
that's the thing. We don't care if we're being perceived.
Yeah.
No, literally.
Yeah.
Perceived? Who asked you? Like,
You look good, you have all of the something there about you. Yes, goody!
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of the Goodgal podcast, and I have two very, very special guests. I have Miss Dani and Mr. David. So
Hey,
introduce yourselves, tell us more about you. Who don't know you? I think everybody watching should know you.
Well, hello everybody. I'm Daniel Rookwood, aka Dani Rooks. I am Miss Do It All.
Facts.
right, right.
I'm a hairstylist. I am a content creator. I am somewhat of a law student, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. And I am a God-fearing woman. Amen.
Best
Amen.
part.
Amen.
Amen.
Hey guys, I'm David. I am not as interesting. I'm a lawyer.
I'm not as interesting. Lawyer. I'm a lawyer, but I'm not as interesting. Wow,
I
okay.
feel like that's very boring to like like
No.
average person. I don't know. Okay. I don't consider myself an influencer, but I create content sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, why I actually have them on, as you can see from the title, so it's really having a conversation with Gen Z. So both of you fall into Gen Z, and you know, I've interacted with you both, and I also hear like your takes on social media. I did a sit down with you with Mountain Peak, and then me and Dani, we went on a whole trip and everything. So yeah, no, I just wanted to kind of have a conversation because I feel like Gen Z only get attacked enough. Gen Z
Yes.
really does get attacked
Yes,
a lot,
yes.
especially in every space that I'm noticing. So I just kind of want to understand, you know, the scrutiny, what is it, and then just understanding the perspectives. So how do you guys perceive the criticism that you guys get?
Well, I'll start.
Okay.
Initially, it was a lot
Mhm.
because it's from birth. Because I don't know, we come out different. I came out rebellious from day
Yeah.
one, so I just didn't understand the status quo, and I don't think that I need to stick to this just because my siblings did it before me, and
Yeah.
I'm the youngest of four, so I had a whole bunch of expectations, and for me, I just insisted that I was going to walk my own path, like not to be rude or different on purpose, but I just was.
Yeah.
So I would say that in general, no, I don't really meditate at
Yeah,
all.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
I make a conscious effort to not pay attention to any
Yeah.
criticism. Like positive, I will focus on that, but negative, I try to just tune it out fully. So that's just me.
Yeah. And David, from your perspective, because you have technically a more traditional job, so how do you,
Okay.
but
so,
then you're still unique in your own regard. So
right. So if I'm being honest, how I perceive the criticism is dependent on who it's coming from. I don't really care about the average person criticizing me. I don't
Yeah.
care. It's your thought. I'm still living my life.
yeah.
And I've always been pretty self-aware because it took me a long time to get where I am right now in terms of my identity, in terms of my mental health. Like I've worked on myself and I'm still working on myself. So I'm not easily shaken now, but I will admit that there are still times where, depending on who the criticism is coming from, it can definitely, affect me to an extent. And in terms of my navigating that professional space, I work in an office that is predominantly like very old, conventional lawyers. They see the black and white. Even when I wear my little grey and my little blue to court, they're like skinning up them face on me, but technically I can wear it. It all boils on for me, I feel like it all boils on back to your community and your safe space. Because I will tell you the truth, I fake it till I make it in those spaces. I put on a smile and I act like everything is fine. I kind of greet all the little like nuances and the little innuendos with a little, like a little keep it professional, keep it cute type of vibe. And then I go back to my best friend or I go back to my safe space and I don't everybody.
Yeah.
And to be honest, that's
Yeah.
how I cope. That's how I get rid of it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times I really, even though as Gen Zs we're very confrontational, and I am very confrontational.
Yeah.
Within a professional space, I have to know when and when not to confront certain things, and it depends on who and the nature of the problem. So I still have to be very careful because it's my job, and I feel like because I'm 25, so being 25 now, I'm not as pro Gen Z as I used to be at 22. Because I realize that I have stakes on the table. And I have to be careful in terms of what my next card or play is.
Right.
So yeah.
That makes sense. So, but touching on that point that you said, so you said one thing which I noticed too, and you said confrontational, but I think you guys are the generation that addresses things.
Yeah.
Like,
for sure.
so call it out. Like, so where does that come from? Like, was it always like that, or because for me it's almost like, and I'm a millennial, but I'm stealing a little bit of that from you guys because I'm turning 29. I'm turning 29 this year, but I steal it a little bit because sometimes I listen to the way you guys are confident and can just express yourselves, and it's almost like, wow, I can't wait to see when you guys have to. Almost, me and my friend were joking the other day because we're like, the housing prices is a problem for us, but then we're like, don't worry, the Gen Z's coming. When come fix it. Cause when they're ready for buy house and they can't afford the house, they're gonna make nice and it's gonna fix, right? So I was like, yes, I feel like you guys have that. So, but just where the confidence come from? Because sometimes it's good, but sometimes it's like it can be bad in certain scenarios. So, like, how you guys navigate that daily?
Oh, so I feel like you said, Renee, confrontation for me personally is not so much of a bad thing. I feel like it can be both positive and negative. Mostly positive. I think within the context of confrontation, it only becomes negative in terms of how it's done.
Yeah.
I don't think it's ever what is happening, but it's how it's being done type of vibe. But to answer your question, I think, I don't know, I feel like the confidence I feel like it comes from the whole digital social media age that we're in, and the whole fact that everybody has a voice now, and everybody's voice can be heard, and that kind of setting is what facilitated, to me, in my opinion, facilitated this confidence that we have in terms of addressing problems or stuff like that.
What's about you, Dani?
I was gonna say exposure because for our generation we have technology. So I honestly think that for me especially, I didn't enter high school or prep school or anything thinking, oh, I'm so confident and brave. In fact, first and second form, I was very insecure, very low. So when I got to third form, I cut all my hair off, and I was just like, I'm going back natural because the girlies on Instagram or YouTube at the time, they were going natural, or they were doing
that was true. It was that era.
Pinterest, the little girlies with their curls. Oh, I was bald. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna just live my life, and it's because I saw that. But when I cut my hair off, oh God, my mother, she was just like, I know you like it. Like, she was not having it. And then I just did not care because, quite frankly, if she can do it in New York, I can do it in Jamaica. And then eventually everybody around you starts to pick up on that little, I like
you have a
this
little
vibe.
you have a little light.
Literally. So you just literally walk, and as David said, my style is definitely fake it till you make it. In every audience, everywhere, not just,
But you guys do it so confidently, which is beautiful.
Also, I feel like a little bit with Gen Z, let me tell you our problem. I feel like we're a little bit forced, right? In terms of when we compare our generation to my mother's generation, and you look at the stark difference, we mature a lot quicker than them, especially like emotionally and mentally. There are a lot of things, and again, I think that is facilitated by our exposure to social media.
Yes, true.
Quite frankly,
and information, not
and
just information overall. Because even from, and I always say that I think the mental health that you guys have been able to get exposed to, because I don't think I'd started taking my mental health serious till I was in my 20s, but I think
Right.
you guys got to do it early, so I
Right,
think
Yeah.
a lot
right.
of you know who you are
Who you are, right?
Yeah.
That
early out.
self-awareness, right?
Yeah, that
right.
self-awareness, which I did not have, right?
Yeah.
But one thing that I think happens. Oh, sorry, you're gonna say something.
Well, and I was saying, and if we don't have the self-awareness, we know what it look like, and
Yeah.
we know how to fake it to reach there.
Mm,
Yeah.
So it's just more. It's more a that's why I said I think it's a confidence thing.
yeah.
How do you feel about also, do you agree, because sometimes even with trends, right, I notice a lot that most of the trends now you guys start it. It's not a joke, like you guys really start the trends, but then sometimes there's a part of me that feels like we get trolled a lot, like older generations. It's always like, you hear things like you're born in the 1900s, and I'm like, okay, like, you know what I mean? So how do you guys even respond to the trends? Or because I feel like there's two sides, where it's either you're keeping up with the trends or you kind of, but at the same time you're doing your own thing within the trend. I don't know how to explain it. It's a very unique approach.
For me,
Yeah.
honestly, I stop mid-trend. I start just follow my own thing, because when I was keeping up with the trends, I was broke, because I always have to have the high heel boots where most of the girl them are wear, and that's trendy because they're wearing it with them like the thick heeled leather boots that they wear with them leather tights and them leather bralette. Me want the whole look. So for me, when a new trend comes out, I have to have the hairstyle. I have to have the shades, the glasses, the this, the that. So now,
everything. Yeah.
I just don't, because it talk about me. So now I think the most Gen Z thing that I do is focus on myself. If I have it in my closet, me I wear it. If I feel like wear it, me I wear it. If it don't match, my mother will see me in her clothes and say, that don't match your eye ass. And I will say, that's okay, it's cute to me. And then when I go outside, my peers are saying my outfit is cute. So I think I don't even want to try keep up with the trends anymore intentionally. But because all of us are so artsy, I would say, in quotes, we just end up working with each other in a way. Like, we end up just,
doing it.
Vibes.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like me can't really. The trend something enough for me again. I think I get old. I get old, man. Like and I feel like even though I'm Gen Z, I'm really on the cusp of Gen Z and millennials, because I'm 1998.
Okay.
Millennials start 1995.
Yeah, 90.
This stuff,
Stop
right.
at 95. Yeah.
So I feel like, and there's a whole younger generation. Well, I don't say but a set within the Gen Z community.
Yeah.
And they're a lot younger, and their trends are a lot different. And I see it on TikTok. And funny enough, actually, I don't really know. I love TikTok, but in terms of like a content creator, I don't know. I can't keep up.
He's not your
I feel like Instagram is me.
Yeah.
And it's crazy because I spend most of my hours on TikTok, but I can't really get into the trend. And then
but the way I spend most of my time on TikTok, but the way I like some content, but the way I love Instagram, I don't think I love TikTok that way. I get what you're saying. I love it that way there. Yeah.
I feel like in terms of TikTok, I love the feed and the source of information.
Yes.
At your disposal type of vibe. But yeah, and with these trends, tomorrow is a different trend. Monday's a different trend. Like,
and then they cancel the trend when them tied it. So when they wear the trend, don't cancel it.
The girl them done with the trend.
Yeah.
The girl them pick up DR and then put it back down and say they are done.
Colombia no.
Come on, yeah.
Then them jump on Panama, then them say only broke you go Panama.
Right.
So
me can't keep up. I don't know. I feel like I have a work. Like I feel preoccupied, but
I feel like I'm in the middle though, because
because you're
for Instagram, I don't like Instagram. Instagram makes me feel weird. Like, I feel perceived, cringe. That's how I feel about Instagram. Like, I post a picture and I feel like it's more critical. Instagram.
It is.
Because if I post a picture and I have like a lot of my assets,
people
showing,
can
like,
comment,
and they will like me being naked, basically. But if I have my clothes on, they'll be like, "Oh, cute outfit," but it don't get as much traction.
That's
on
true.
TikTok, when I go and do an OOTD,
that's true.
The girls are hyping
eating
you.
it up.
That's
so
true.
I love it.
The Gen Zs.
That's true.
The Gen Zs.
They are very loving, and I love it over there. But Instagram have me feeling like, okay, I might as well go and do inappropriate content because
Yeah, no, that is so true. And with the trends, I also noticed something in the dating and relationship culture. For you guys is very different, right? And you because even me, like I remember even being like young 20s, and it was almost women, it was such a shame for us to date.
yeah,
I was one of those people who, like, I feel like always believed in dating, but you almost really had to keep it a secret. Like, yeah, I'm dating, like I'm dating two
That's
people to see
true.
who I like, and you have to kind of hush. But
Oh,
no, you guys,
no.
hey, I'm dating two
I
guys.
have 1, 2, 3, 4.
So, so how does that? Because do people perceive you different, or how do you?
Well, the thing about Gen Z is we don't care.
Purr,
That's the thing.
purr.
Like,
You're right.
that's the thing. We don't care if we're being perceived different.
Yeah.
No, literally.
Yeah.
Perceived? Who asked you? Like, no, but boy, I don't know if you for coming from
Me
that.
Cause you, because
The
you talk
relationship,
about relationships,
the
yeah.
relationship thing for me, and the multiple. I'm gonna, and it's okay if you guys cancel me for this, but I'm in terms of dating, I understand the concept and I support it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not something I live 100% by. I'm gonna be honest,
Agreed, though.
because the moment I in my head never smile and tell you, man, everything good. The moment me hear somebody else in the picture too,
My God. And you see,
Me
that's
shut down.
we're similar in that sense.
me
because
shut down.
Yeah.
I understand. I had to learn actually how
Yeah.
to date like that,
Right.
how to do the whole 2 people one time or 3 or whatever, and I still can't do it to this day. So I will always end up looking like a menke or
Yeah.
a fool or whatever, because I'm gonna talk to somebody, and if them do the things where
Me I go all in.
I'm a
Yeah.
lover girl
Yeah.
to the
Naturally.
extent where me and you were married. No,
Yeah.
but you see, my sister now.
Yeah.
She should have talked to. She can talk on this. She know over the thing. And
I feel like we have to
I'm trying
sneak.
to take notes.
I feel like we have to sneak. Like if you're dating
To
two
the
people,
vibe.
like when
No.
in your 20s, like when I was in my 20s, and like if you hear say a girl,
Them
she
a
talking
bring you
to
down.
them, I bring it down. Like
Maybe that's what makes you guys,
see-
this generation, better, because you guys know how to sneak.
True.
I don't know how to sneak. I'm blatant with it. Like, I love you. Like, today.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But I don't know how to do the whole, I like you, but I'm not gonna get too deep into this. Like, I'm gonna hold off and see if he has something to offer.
Right.
And him,
Yeah.
he's nice to my family too. And
Yeah.
I don't know that. You treat me good, you like me, and you like me, but me, I focus on him. So,
Cause that in me like
yeah.
yeah.
Know so that part of Gen Z,
Yeah.
them I got
Never catch me.
Still
No,
learn.
understand it. Don't get me wrong. It's a concept that I understand.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. Like the root of the definition of the word makes sense.
Mhm.
For people to be dating and comparing, who they like best, because and I also like the kind of seriousness that Gen Z is attached to exclusivity.
Yes.
Yes.
Which is why it requires you throwing your net and you're picking up and you're sieving through. And I do like it. I like it, but it's not something I can do.
No.
It's not something I can do.
Yeah.
I'm being very honest.
I would try. I could try, but I just feel like I passed the try stage.
Pass the try.
My age now.
Yeah, me I get
I'm
old,
trying
man.
to.
You know people that want to get
No,
old.
honestly, I'm sorry, but my mother at my age, mother they have 3 picnic. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
Me I try married now. Me
Yeah.
want to settle down and just live my little life. And
So you
build
do
a
want
family.
to get married,
Of
have a family.
course.
You too, you want to get married,
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
family.
I want it
yes.
bad.
I don't know if it's
Same
here
world.
though, but
You
yes.
don't know if it's here.
In
Yeah,
Jamaica.
I don't know if it's gonna happen for me
Yeah.
here either, but I
Yeah.
do know that that's what I want.
Would you guys go anywhere, like just leave and go anywhere for
Yes.
work?
like yes.
You see, he can say yes like that. I can't.
I can.
Period. It's
Okay.
because my parents grew me so sheltered. Like, as the last grandchild, everybody just
Rally around you, yeah,
So
yeah.
even I went away in like last summer to New York for the first time. New York is a world in itself.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
If
Jesus.
you are not
It is.
prepared,
And the
place
people
will have
are
you.
very strange.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, it was the
Very
worst
strange.
experience.
New York is overwhelming.
It's a
I
cultural
can
melting pot because you have so many different cultures. You have some people shouting, some
Yes.
people ignoring you. It's
And
weird.
I
It's
feel
weird.
like Jamaica trained me to think that people will always be there,
Yes.
and my family too. When I was in New York, it showed me that I don't think I'm ready for the world the way I thought I was ready for the world. Because I had to be taking the train by myself. Well, it was me and my sister-in-law, but we were both scared. Like, we were like, what is this world? Like, nobody now chat to you, nobody now. I'm not ready for that. So could I go and live in another country just so? Not think so. Would have somebody there that say, come and we. Like, I'm not a one person thing. Me can't do that. Me can't go by myself. No.
Oh, me can.
I
Tell
can
me very much.
No, I love that.
I don't know. I feel, don't get me wrong, you know, I love Jamaica. As a matter of fact, I remember when I did work and travel my first year at UE, and I was away for an extended time, like 4 or 5, almost 5 months. And I was getting homesick a lot and so on, stuff like that. Mostly like really because of the cooking. That was the only part of it really. But and at that time it was a struggle for me. And I understand that it will be a struggle for me to be away from Jamaica for like an extended time. Especially like the partying culture is completely different.
Very,
but to be fair, I feel like at this age, where I want to go with my life, the kind of money I want to make, the kind of impact I want, just the kind of future I want to curate for myself, I don't see myself doing it here because I feel like it's gonna take a lot longer.
And maybe it's just not available in this region.
I also think that some of it's probably just not available.
Sure.
If it's a case, probably it's a case where for me I go away, work some money, and come back eventually. I see that being possible, but for me, eventually, at this point I'm looking about a transition out.
Yeah.
To be whether it be school, whether it be a job offer, whether it be a spouse, I don't know, but I and it's not a case where I'll ever forget Jamaica because
this is home.
This is home, and it will always be home. But you know the thing said. We have to go do the do and come back.
Come back. That's true.
That though, because even recently, before I felt a little hopeless. Before I went to law school, I was like, "There's nothing for me in this country. Like literally nothing. There's no job that I see that I could have say, oh, it's a pay a certain amount and me can do." Nothing wasn't worth it to me, and I mean maybe it was because I felt like I lacked a little purpose. I don't know, but I was hell bent on doing something for each foreign, any foreign, Japan, US, Canada, anyone. We just want going. But then I started to do a little schoolwork and felt stressed, and I was like, never mind, because it's hard pass. So no, but I don't think not for me, but for you.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense. But then, do you feel, as a younger person, being in the country, all of that, do you feel hopeful for the future, or is it like something where you're like, like, do you see beyond? So even if, let's say, you don't get to leave and you get to stay, do you feel like there are things put in place for younger people? Because I don't feel like there's that.
Well, let me just be very clear. If my stay, I'm gonna make it silly now.
No.
Yeah.
It's just a matter about in terms of when.
Yeah.
But in terms of hope for Jamaica or
just how you feel, because like
2030.
Yeah, because I don't know. As a millennial myself, like I feel like sometimes I'm sit down and I say, boy, this rough in a star. Like you really look at it and you're like, geez, because I don't know if they're. And then it's just like, all of us doing the same thing.
And that's what it is. When you say I don't know, and then you pause, and then it's just, that's the move, because I feel like every time Jamaica, because we take some steps forward, you know,
and
we take 2, we take 10 back. So at this point, I really don't know.
Same.
I don't know.
You know, the unfortunate thing, this is the view of most
people.
And then a lot of us, we're hands off. We're just like, you know what, hey, I'm just here to make my bag. Make sure mommy alright. Make sure I have a good life and do like.
You think there's anybody that you know that has ever aspired to be like, oh, I want to be the leader of this country because
I was thinking what I don't think you know people. Oh, well, you're in that
law field.
He's in law.
You're also in law.
Am I?
So, but I know people who want to go into politics. Well, I actually have friends that are actually in politics now, right? And they're doing the do, and them are doing what them can, but it's like a needle in a haystack.
That's what I'm thinking. I don't think anybody like younger comes up and says, you know, I want to be the prime minister, or I want to do change or anything. So in terms of oversharing and your digital identity, how do you guys navigate that? Because I sometimes it's almost like online, like being online can be a good thing and it can be a bad thing, right? Do you guys share and regret sometimes, or like how you manage it? He's like, I don't share. His face is like,
relate.
Because of the nature of my job too.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
have to be very careful with what I say, how I say it, who am I saying it to. Yeah, so I'm a lot more regulated where that is concerned. But in terms of just like offering tips, I would recommend, well, because share it, the whole point of what's considered like too much is very subjective in terms of how much value that person adds to the thing that they're sharing.
Yeah.
And if for me and you, for example, sharing, let's say, our age would be a no for both of us, but for Daniel, she doesn't care.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of times, and then we, on the receiving end, we say, watch our, why should I share age? That's too much. TMI.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of times with the whole oversharing debate, it's really just like a misunderstanding between the person who is sharing and the recipients. Yeah. I mean, mind you, I do understand that there's a certain extent where it becomes generally like, oh my god, I think collectively as a group that is too much information. But yeah.
Well, for me, well, what you just said.
Can you talk your business in us? You talk your business for TikTok.
So we gonna talk about it.
Like we know every time when Dani looks at dates somebody.
No, exactly.
Right.
And you see, if you guys pay attention, y'all don't know the last time I dated somebody.
Because
am I or did I get silent? Because I had to learn. When I just started TikTok, I talk. I'm talking about the argument me and him had yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the argument that we have this morning. I'm going to talk about the date that we had. You know, I'm just telling, and that's why people didn't like me, because me I chat my business. And people love people business.
Yep.
So that is an easy way to grow on social media. I just gave you the blueprint. So that works. But for me, I realized I had a little experience on social media that taught me that discretion is your power, and I spoke about that on TikTok too. And learning to know what to share, what not to share, when to be quiet, when to speak is what makes you thrive and what keeps you sane. Because for me, when I was telling people my business, they were plotting against me, and I'm not lying. Like literally, actively, people are around me listening, and then they come and then they do something, and then you're like, "But are you mad?" You know. So now that I'm quiet, I'm at peace. I'm just living. Yeah. Yes, people will see. Oh yeah. You know, we gotta switch it up sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
But it's a trial and error for
trial
me.
and error.
But I feel like when I see the whole trend now on
put
TikTok,
I was just about to ask that.
we need to put on your hand.
I was just
put on your hand because sleep. And to that extent,
that's where's the line?
Right. To that extent, me have to draw the line. Because the moment I share information that, because that's also subjective. But I was gonna say the moment I start sharing information that somehow is perceived as degrading.
Yeah.
I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
But then, and like I'm thinking now, that's also
subjective because people are gonna say. Somebody might share something that I watch and cringe the whole video. And I'm like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
And they're just like, look here, like, this is something that happened, but over it, no, we can't stop. And I'm just like, even if I'm over it, wait, I tell you, I'm
gonna feel like it all boils down to a sense of maturity, because I feel like when people, you can tell when people are moving with a sense of purpose, as well as when them actually have like, things on the table. Like,
things to lose.
Right. When they have something to lose, that level of maturity and responsibility kicks in. But
and with that trend, I realized me never like nobody yet.
Nobody never yet said, oh, alright.
Me never like nobody yet. Community think me like man, but me not like nobody yet.
But also
the way something them do, me say me never like no man yet.
Either because some
me always used
to put your finger down, eat this, that, and I'm like, I have my fingers up.
Remember one? We don't remember the one where she said she live like country and she come at town cause the boy
and
migrate
him gone,
and him gone somebody girlfriend yard and
baby mother
and she come back come mash it up and the next day them I'm say huh
and then she cut out his passport and I'm like, baby,
I've never liked anybody yet. Like never. And that's why it's just like there's a point where it's like I get it, but bring back shame.
Yes.
Me not get it.
Bring it back.
I'm sorry.
I get the need to share and be open.
Me not get that one
Some people maybe I think it's to be heard because some people really don't have anybody to express it to, and I don't know. It's a weird thing.
Also,
bingo.
Yeah.
I also feel like say. Yeah, you know that's so funny because sometimes my best friend that send me like some people content. I'm like, they're not a friend. Why would you tell a friend?
That's it. A lot of people don't,
but
and you take it for granted. Just because you have somebody who will listen to you doesn't mean they do.
Yeah.
Also,
wait.
Let me tell you this. A lot of us are opportunists and them are liars. Half of them something I got nothing them got as half so. Jamaica, you know them pinch piece of the story cause something near go say, you know.
Yeah.
And them spice it up and them yeah. Some of the stories I don't believe. Personally. I feel like you can tell when them really real. Cause some of them how embarrassing it is, you can tell.
So you can
real.
feel it.
Yeah, so no man should go through
and
it already.
You can see the shit.
You see him BNR.
Yeah. But also, I was gonna say this thing about needing to be understood and needing to be heard. Oh God, we need to be careful with it because it's embarrassing. And just as I say, like when you look back, when you get to a place of truly tapping into your purpose and who you're supposed to be, you're gonna look back at that and say, I should not have done that.
Yeah.
Because Jano, I used to want to be heard. Like I want to tell my side of the story so bad, and I want people to know that it's not so good. That's not what happened. But guess what? I did learn saying I have to just take it and move on in my life. You're what you are, who you are, it will show regardless. So just live your life and move on because needing to be heard will put you in situations like that.
And your digital footprint is one thing because let me tell you something.
It's not going away.
You know, it's really not because let me tell you something. Sometimes like I'll randomly Google my name and I'll say like, you guys wouldn't know about the app called Picnic. We used to picnic pictures. You know Picnic?
Of course I know Picnic.
Okay, well that was a very embarrassing
on FB
and a very Facebook, a very low time. A very low time in our history.
Yes.
And I promise you, like it's
so fresh.
It literally never goes away. Right? The little fufu picture them and all of that, peace signs, everything. But and that's why I say it's it's almost like be so careful because these things have a way of coming back.
They do.
To haunt you.
They do.
So it's almost like what I would say is I love to just wrap up basically. I genuinely appreciate the conversation because I feel like I also learned more about you guys. And then I think that we're more relatable than we think we are.
We are.
Yeah. I think
I also feel like this whole Gen Z generational the differences and characteristics. I feel like it's all on a spectrum, and so it's fluid.
Yeah.
Not everybody is strictly one thing.
Yeah. True.
So now we're realizing how more alike we are.
Similar we are, right? And I think that, but one thing I can say, as I'm telling you, I believe in I can't wait for them to start by us. And just attack them for us and take on the charge. Because one thing with Uno, take on the cause. And Uno I go find a solution.
We're going on Twitter and we're ranting.
And they're ranting.
Yeah, and we're atting everybody. Andrew, everybody.
Everybody. So I genuinely appreciate this conversation and I thank you guys so much for being a part of the Goodgal podcast.
Aww, thanks for having me.
It was great to have you guys. All right, guys. See you next week. Bye.